daytime, not night, daytime, it will be energy giving. The dahi or curd used for long time, it will produce skin disease.
What about milk and egg?
Milk, no, all incompatibles. Milk and egg incompatible, and water and honey incompatible.
Honey and milk is
Honey and milk incompatible, and honey incompatible. Honey and ghee in equal quantity incompatible. It must be. It can be mixed unequally. Unequal mixing of honey and ghee is harmless. If it is equally mixed, it is harmful.
Honey in water is
Not advisable. And honey in rainwater is more harmful. Divyambas.
Early morning, to reduce weight, generally the short formula is to take in a boiled glass of water, you just warm water, you put 1 or 2 spoons of honey and then with some lemon, it reduces weight.
There is no statistical evidence for that. Honey is basically carbohydrate. So certain special type of honey is there. Honey means it is a generic form. Certain honey which are very powerful, that will reduce weight. Not all honey. That honey we get, that is not having any speciality. The specified honey in certain regions, in certain flowering seasons, and certain variety of bees. It's a small variety, like our mosquito. That variety of bees are there. That cannot sting. This is great. In Kerala, you say cherude, small bee. Cheru means small. That is effective in bringing down weight. Not this honey. This honey will increase your weight because it will be carbohydrate source. It will not bring down.
Honey with in milk, if you intake milk plus honey mixed into one, and then it gives you fat. And
no, it will upset the stomach. It will not be properly absorbed.
For improper amount.
It should not be used. Should not be used. That's why most of the shakes where they take, you try, it will become you will become dyspeptic. You will not have proper appetite. So it will not.
Ayurveda against non-vegetarian food?
Ayurveda as such is not. It is not. But our parampara is a strict Vaishnava parampara. So we insist. Ayurveda is not.
But I think that you mentioned that it will not be very effective for the people with non-vegetarian.
Because the medicine, this our parampara developed, it is actually all medicine we use from my guru. It is meant only for born vegetarians. I don't say Brahmins, born vegetarians.
Is it a discriminating medicine?
It is not discriminative. It is not discriminative. If you want to get the desired result, you have to follow this. It is not discriminative. Ayurveda is basically encourages mamsahara at times. But Amisha Seva, according to Dharma Shastra, it is not acceptable. Vaishnavas basically follow Dharma Shastra. My guru is basically a ardent Vaishnavite. We also follow, that's all. And he is so benevolent that he allowed to give to everybody who is at least for some time they have to forgo non-vegetarian and give. For centuries they were not doing that. But he is so liberal, so he did it. But if anybody, we statistically we have treated about 120 persons. All vegetarians, this is the statistical study, all vegetarians responded very well. Non-vegetarians, most of them partially responded. Yeah, that is there.
Sir, you mentioned that Ayurveda is superior for all ailments except emergency management.
Then Ayurveda means the principles of Ayurveda. Ayurveda, I am not claiming like that. Ayurvedic principles are superior to modern principles of approach to human life. That's why I am saying. Not the medicines. So there are so many things containing heavy metals. These things are available in the market. So we cannot blindly say that it is superior. If you take 100 samples from market, most of the samples will be contaminated with heavy metal. Today also, here also one sample, Dr. Tiwari's grandson, he was being given for 8 months heavy metal, iron, unrefined iron was being given, and the child was about to die. We stopped, withdraw the drugs completely, the child is responding very well. So we cannot close our eyes before truth. We have to accept the truth.
Yeah, the problem I am posing is, if a person wants to be treated by Ayurvedic system, how does one go about finding a competent person? Because in allopathy you have a system
Yes, yes,
having an MBBS, MS, MD, whatever.
yes.
So, and plus the number of years experience. For Ayurveda, how does a common person would go about finding a person in whom he can repose his trust that he will do the right thing, or he is knowledgeable about whatever you have mentioned?
I can tell you one simple test I can tell. The homeopaths and Ayurvedic physicians, most of them claim a lot. I have seen recently one pamphlet where number of about several diseases are being mentioned. And most of the thing, one thing I remember, myocardial infarction, and another one core pulmonale. Nobody will go to a homeopath, that is one thing. If at all he goes, he will die. Core pulmonale is a medical emergency. It requires very powerful, controlled life support. Homeopath cannot do anything. Ayurvedic physicians also cannot do anything. These are the situations we have to, emergencies which require immediate life support must go to a qualified modern doctor. No doubt about it. Both the systems are lacking life support. For example, some person is, especially children, dehydrated. Immediately you have to rehydrate. Otherwise the child will die. Ayurvedic physician cannot succeed, homeopath also cannot succeed. Because of the Ayurbalam, some children might have been saved, but it cannot be universally applied. They have to rehydrate. These are the situations, emergency situations, we have to go to modern system. In chronic disorders, Ayurveda is effective, homeopathy also effective. Wherever supplement is required, homeopathy cannot do anything. They claim many things, symptomatic improvement, and most of the people think homeopathy is symptomatic treatment. It is not. It goes to totality of symptoms. Totality of symptom will be almost near to the cause. It eliminates the cause also. The principle is similia similibus curantum. In human body, two pathogenic factors cannot coexist. So the one will drive the other out. That is the homeopathy principle. When we give a specific medicine for one disease, that medicine is causing these symptoms, and endogenous cause is producing this. This endogenous cause and the exogenous cause will fight each other, and symptom and the cause will be vanished. That is a homeopathy principle. Ayurvedic approach is totally different. We strengthen the immune mechanism. It is not like homeopathy. It is not like modern medicine. We strengthen the immune system of that patient. So we are not doing anything harmful to the. For example, there are patients with shown, if that medicine is prepared, what all medicine is given to that person, if it is inoculated in the bacterial inoculum, the bacteria also will grow very well. It is life supporting. It is not bactericidal or bacteriostatic, nothing. It has nothing to do with bacteria. For Ayurveda, this bacteria and human being are life. What we do is, inherent immune mechanisms are there in a living being, that is being stimulated. We are always subservient to the immune system. So wherever immune system is to be improved, Ayurvedam is the best. Autoimmune diseases like lupus, systemic lupus erythematosus, SLE, rheumatoid arthritis, vasculitis, most of the immunological diseases or all these conditions. So, HIV or HIV also can be treated. HIV also can be treated. The viral load will come down. Life is preserved for a long time. We can treat any disease. Diseases which immediately sadhyo maranam, immediately patient die, then we require life support. If life supports are available, as a pharmacy system, Ayurveda is superior if properly selected. So these are the conditions. Emergency management, modern medicine. When symptoms are there, very chronic and difficult to take Ayurvedic medicines, because most of the Ayurvedic medicines are not palatable. Homeopathy is very easy to administer. But the tall claims put forth by both these group of physicians, we must be courageous enough to verify. For example, MS, I have seen hundreds of MS patients. I can treat. In the 6 years of medical college life, I have not seen even one patient. It is so rare. Somebody claims that, oh, I have treated 100 patients. It's a false claim. In the way so many claims will be there, then the patient is entitled to ask one question. Doctor, have you ever treated this disease before? I want to know. If the doctor is not giving a satisfactory answer, he is not competent. Every patient will believe that this is my disease, nobody else would have got it. That's common then. They will ask so many questions. It is our duty to satisfy them. See, these are the addresses, you can verify. I have treated them, they are relieved. Better you get information from them. It must be open, ledger must be open to them. It must be very open and verifiable. This is the only test which is enough to verify the claim of any Ayurvedic physician or any homeopath.
But besides Kerala, we don't see the growth of Ayurveda because there are certain traditions that have been maintained.
Not only traditions, because the ecological system, now it is not. All the forests are gone. Now it is worse than any other place. More than Kerala, these medicines are available here. Once upon a time it was like that. And we have developed our own systems in a better way, that's all. For Panchakarma. Panchakarma is described in all the texts. Kerala, some traditional physicians developed it and put into practice in a better way than the north. That's all. There is no like popular belief, Kerala Ayurveda. There is no Kerala Ayurveda. Ayurveda is only one. But depending on the availability of raw materials, certain changes will be there. Here, more minerals are used. In Tamil Nadu, most of the herbs are available, most of the minerals are available. Trained persons are there, hereditary, traditionally trained persons are there. It is developing there, that's all. There is no.
So you one thing which you mentioned in between your lecture is that the superiority of Ayurveda is based on basically on super sensuous knowledge.
Conceptual. It is conceptual.
Not practical, even not of our own world, but even world beyond us, in the whole universe. We have got our own understanding which cannot be captured by our own senses perceptions. So how about this knowledge?
Anybody can get. Ramarshi Paramhansa says, if some example is brought before him, Christ also said like this, and Buddha also said like this. His answer will do, all foxes of the world will howl in the same way. All great men will think in the same way. So this is the truth. So anybody, any part of the world, same truth might have been dawned in several people. We do not know. This is nothing, nothing patented.
No, means the understanding of the Ayurveda cannot